Today we have Glenn Venance, the lead for Team Sturmray, which is going to be the final wildcard team in the upcoming Tim Hortons Brier. And so thank you so much for being with us today, Glenn.
No problem, Thomas. Thanks for having me.
So Glenn, tell me a little bit about how you met Karsten and kind of became part of his team, and a little bit about how you guys ended up qualifying to be a wildcard team for the Tim Hortons Brier.
Yeah, sure. So Karsten and I got to know each other through the University of Alberta. Um, we played together there. We both went to school, and that would have been, I think, about 8 years ago now. So we're on the varsity team together. Kind of kept playing with some guys that we went to school with for a couple of years. Team changes over the last kind of year or so with the end of the Olympic cycle that usually happens in curling. Went down and we ended up pulling some guys in from Calgary and from Winnipeg, and this team formed. In terms of getting to the Brier this year, the wild card, basically, we had a really strong showing on tour all year long, and we're able to accumulate enough world ranking points that put us in this position. And we were fortunate enough that all the other playdowns kind of shook out the right way for us. And yeah, we just kind of found our way in as the last wild card spot. So just yeah, through that world ranking points, that's how we ended up getting in.
And so, Glenn, obviously your first time getting to compete in the Brier, kind of what does it feel like to be able to compete on is certainly the biggest stage for Canadian curling in men's curling?
It's surreal. I don't think it's really sunk in yet that we get the chance to go. It's certainly been a dream of mine since I was a little kid to have the chance to go and to do this. So, I mean, we played all these guys before, like everybody, the Botchers, the Gushus, the Kuis, the Dunstons, the world. We've seen those guys, but to have the chance to do it on a stage that we've all dreamed of since we were little kids, like it's pretty cool. And I think it's also neat that we're all going at the same time. This is the first time that any of us have ever been. So we're all kind of experiencing this together where it's been a dream of all of ours individually. And it's like, yeah, there's no one that's been here before. So we're going to really try to soak it in and take in the experience for sure.
You originally grew up at Kitscoty. Tell me a little bit about
Yeah.
growing up there and kind of how you grew to love the game of curling, kind of competing at Kitscoty and some of the more local tournaments.
I certainly remember those. Yeah, like um, my parents both curled, so that's kind of how I got into it. It was they were always really involved in the game, and I was always kind of around. I remember mom and dad playing in the men's and ladies bonspiels in Kitscoty, and I'd be in the rink helping doing bar shifts way way underage, helping them do that stuff, eating rink burgers, and just kind of hanging out there um, with everybody. So it definitely growing up in Kitscoty shaped me a lot. It's definitely a very hard working part of the world, definitely a blue collar side of things. And I try to take that into curling now, like just the hard work, the grinding, the do the stuff every day to try to get a little bit better. I do feel like that came from where I grew up and kind of just the way of life that people live out there. So yeah, definitely still a big part of me. I'm really proud to be from Kitscoty, the Lloydminster area. It's something that I said shaped me a lot. And so, yeah, it's really exciting to have the opportunity to represent everybody from back there for sure.
Thank you so much for this interview, Glenn, and we hope that you and Team Sturmray have an excellent Brier, and we will certainly be looking out for you guys to have a good Brier showing coming up this March.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Thomas. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this for us.